Why we can't buckle up our do-rags? I'm going to answer this by cracking an egg and tying a necktie. A few days ago, I came across a video of what I thought was genius innovation of a do-rag where instead of tying it in the back, you could just buckle it in. And of course, along with the video, there was some backlash from folks saying that it was lazy or silly or goofy or just all around unnecessary. Many of us wear do-rags. I know I can say for myself, they slip off at night. They're tricky to tie up. If you tie them up wrong, they'll leave a line down your head. They'll leave a line across your forehead if you tie them too tight. They are not the easiest to use products. So why do we protect that difficulty to use them so fiercely? Well, we got to talk about cracking eggs. Back in the 1950s, the company behind Betty Crocker, General Mills, figured out a way to make a box cake mix that only required the user to add water to the powder, stir it up, bake it, and boom, you have a cake. When they went to sell this, however, they didn't get the success they thought they would get. Problem was, it just didn't feel good to make. Along with maybe a cake that you just add water to, maybe just didn't taste that good. But they listened to psychologist experts at the time, and this is what they said. The powdered eggs, often used in cake mixes, should be left out, so a woman could add fresh eggs into the batter, giving them a sense of creative contribution. Essentially, baking a cake is not just about the outcome. It's not just about the product you get at the end of it. It's about the social experience of a woman baking a cake with her daughter and showing her how to do it. It's about the labor that goes into it. Because when you give someone a cake, a homemade cake, a part of it that makes it special is that it was made. It took hours to do this. It took the right know-how to know how much oil and milk to put in this. And the just add water batter took too much of that authenticity and too much of that labor away. So General Mills went back to the drawing board and came out with a way to have a little middle ground. They took out the powdered eggs from the mix. This required the consumer to go into their fridge, grab an egg, and crack it. But what does that have to do with do-rags? The do-rag is pretty simple. It is two pieces of cloth stitched together so that they wrap around the head, and you use these straps to secure it to your head. If you were to look at the package of any do-rag, however, you'd see that the instructions say something along the lines of, take it out of the package, wear it at night, moisturize your hair before you put it on. And that's really it. And tie it firmly. It'll probably say something like that. But any Black person who uses this can tell you 5, 6, 7 other rules and steps that go into getting the most out of this piece of fabric. I'm not going to give away too many recipes because I know we probably mixed company. But, I'll say one small thing. Any Black person will tell you, you can't put this on the way that the package suggests. Here's why. That seam right there. In order to get the most out of the do-rag, you have to put it on inside out so that the seam is on the outside and it won't leave a line in the middle of your waves. This type of information can very much just be written down, shared, or better yet, this could just change. You can just buy a do-rag without this seam. But there's significance in passing that knowledge orally and through a cultural, social exchange. This is seen in another garment that's geared toward men, the necktie. This is a traditional necktie. It's just one long piece, but they sell ties that you could simply clip onto the top of your collar. So why is it so important for a man to tie his tie when he could save a good 5 minutes in the morning simply getting a clip-on? There's a rite of passage that comes as a boy when you learn how to tie a necktie. So walking out with just a clip-on tie, it signifies that you've not been taught. It signifies that you have not gone through an important rite of passage to become a man. That's why clip-on ties are not as popular for grown men. You see little boys wear them all the time because they have not gone through that rite of passage. And there are many more examples of us choosing a less efficient way to do things because they feel more emotionally satisfying or more culturally significant. A small example is dad culture. They're the charcoal grill dads who look down on the electric grill dads because why can't you make your own fire, or you don't get that good grill taste for whatever reasons, when the true reason is that there's a gratification that comes from building that fire and it feels more manly. It feels like a rite of passage to show your son how to keep the charcoals hot. It's about more than just the efficiency. Another thing that informs the urge for us to judge a product for being simple to use is a little bit of ableism. And we have to be honest about that. A lot of products that we see that have been simplified have been so because they're being made more accessible to people with disabilities. There are folks with disabilities who affect their motor skills. So, it could be hard to pick up a fork. So it could definitely be difficult to reach behind your head and tie a knot. Folks with these disabilities still deserve to have their waves on swim. So let's keep that in mind the next time we see a buckle on a durag. You may not want to leave the eggs out of your cake or clip on your necktie or snap on your durag, but these products work great for many people. And their existence does not threaten our traditions or any of the valuable social interactions we have with them. So we shouldn't judge someone just for using a more simple product.